Okay. Classification. We're talking about different types of businesses that we have.
Types of businesses.
Yes, please. We go down. Now, we start with the primary sector. Business activity is classified into three sectors. We have the primary sector business, we have the secondary sector business, and the tertiary sector business at this level. So these are the three classes of business we have. The primary sector, the secondary sector, and the tertiary sector. So we start with the primary sector.
Yeah.
Why is it called the primary sector? We call it the primary sector because it involves extraction.
Extraction.
Yeah, extraction
So
of raw
like
materials.
so basically like extracting bananas or materials.
Yes, that is primary sector.
Anything important,
From the earth.
Yeah, from the earth.
That is primary sector. Is it clear?
Yeah.
So here are some examples. Agriculture, which involves a range of farming activities. I think that is clear.
Yeah.
Fishing. You understand fishing?
Vegetables,
forestry,
trees. Maybe this is basic.
Forestry, mining and quarrying. I think you understand it. So whatever activity you do that involves extraction of raw materials is primary sector. Yes. We go to the secondary. For secondary sector, this involves conversion of raw materials into finished goods. These things we extract. They are still raw.
Like Coca-Cola.
Yes. They are still raw. They need to be converted to be consumed.
To final product.
To the final product. So those businesses that involve in the conversion of raw materials into finished goods are called the secondary sector businesses. Is it clear? So examples of secondary sector, we have metalworking, car production, computer assembly, manufacturing, bricklaying, all these are in the secondary sector. Is it clear? Is it clear, please?
So it's basically like extracting the
conversion.
Converting or basically getting the extracted ones into final product.
Final products. So that sector is the
like Coca-Cola.
Yes.
It's extracting the metals, extracting the raw materials. The metal where you need to put the can, and you need to extract the ingredients to make Coca-Cola.
To process to become Coca-Cola. Yeah.
And that's the one.
Yes. So we go on to the tertiary sector. For the tertiary sector, we're talking about the service sector. This is where those things that have been converted into finished goods are being sold. Yeah. So now we have examples of the tertiary sector. We have the commercial services, freight delivery, debt collection, printing and employment agencies. These are all services.
Transport.
Financial services, household services, leisure, professional services, transport. These are all in the tertiary sector. I think they are clear.
Super clear.
So we'll move on.
Wait, you have television, tourism, hotels.
Yeah, I talked about it. So go to interdependence now. Are you there?
Interdependence.
So when I talk about interdependence, we're talking about how it is inevitable for one sector to do without the other sector. So it means each sector has to do with or deal with each other. So no sector can operate independently.
So the businesses have to work together.
They work hand in hand, yes. So let's read anyway. Businesses in each of the three sectors above are likely to be interdependent. This means that they rely on each other. For example, in the primary sector, cereal farmers rely on bakers in the secondary sector for their sales of wheat. Bakers may depend on advertising agencies in the tertiary sector to produce newspaper adverts for their products. So there's always interconnectedness. So they need to rely on one another to be able to carry out their objectives. Is it clear?
Of course.
Changes in sector. The number of people employed in each sector does not stay the same. Different sectors grow and decline over time.
What do you mean?
We cannot continue to be in one sector for the rest of our lives. No. Things will change. So these changes brings about development. So when you look at America some 100 years ago were not like how it is right now.
Yeah.
So 100 years ago, they evolved in the primary sector. But now they are evolving mostly in tertiary sector, services. So most developed economies, they are involved in the service sector. While Africa is still involved in the primary sector, and some that are developing are in the secondary sector. Do you get it?
Yeah.
So that is the point I'm making here. Things are changing, and the more it changes, the more it becomes developed. So there's changes from the primary sector to the secondary sector, from secondary sector to the tertiary sector.
So like levels by level.
Yeah. So most of the time, there's what we call deindustrialization. So here they talked about it. Deindustrialization means more firms, those that are involved in conversion of raw materials, start thinking about services. So they no longer think about conversion, they think about servicing. That is deindustrialization. Deindustrialization.
So
there's decline in manufacturing.
So
deindustrialization.
Deindustrialization
Yes.
is basically
A decline
a decline
in the manufacturing sector.
So basically they want to change
to the service sector.
Yeah.
You get it? So there's what we call industrialization. For industrialization, it means a non-industrialized country becomes industrialized. So that means a primary sector becoming a secondary sector. That is industrialization. And when deindustrialization occurs, it means the secondary sector is in decline. Is it clear?
Yeah.
We'll move on. So how do you base a developed economy? You base a developed economy based on the kind of sector it operates, where it has the largest population. So if the largest population comes in the tertiary sector, the economy could be considered as a developed economy. If it is in the secondary sector, it can be considered as a developing economy. And if it's in the primary sector, it is a less developed economy. Is it clear? Is it clear, this?
Yes.
We'll move on. So why is there industrialization here? Why do we have the industrialization? Number one, people may prefer to spend more of their income on services than manufactured goods. So these days, people prefer services. They want to go holidays. They want to fly than buying goods and services, buying goods. So this is one of the reasons. Two, there's fierce competition in the production of manufactured goods from developing countries such as India, China, and Brazil. The competition is increasing. Countries are becoming more developed. As a result, the industrial sector, the industrialization sector, or the secondary sector is becoming saturated.
Saturated.
A lot of firms are joining. A lot of countries are becoming industrialized. A lot of countries are becoming industrialized.
Called the
saturated industry. So a lot of countries are becoming industrialized. As a result of that, the competition is increasing. The value for goods are becoming less. So it is no more interesting. It is no more profitable.
Yeah, it makes sense since it has more sales.
It's having less sales now. It's not more profitable because a lot of people are in there. A lot of countries are becoming developed.
So it has less quantity.
No, I'm not getting it.
No, not the business quantities. I mean the quantities of their products.
What I'm saying is this: when you talk about, they said there's a fierce competition in the production of manufactured goods from developing countries such as India, China, and Brazil. So what it simply means is that one of the reasons why we have the industrialization is that a lot of countries are becoming industrialized. And because they are becoming industrialized, it means more goods are being produced in different countries, more homogeneous goods. The same goods are being produced in different countries. As a result, it is less profitable as it used to be. So developed countries start thinking about services instead of the secondary sector. Because the secondary sector, when goods become more, the prices fall. So exportation of secondary goods, exportation of industrialization becomes not interesting anymore, unattractive, because the value for industrialization is becoming less. So people start thinking about services, tertiary sector. So they want to stand out. They want to take themselves away from the mass markets. Do you get it now?
Yes.
So one of the reasons why we have the industrialization is because a lot of countries are becoming industrialized. Because they are becoming industrialized, it means a lot of goods are being produced, which makes it cheaper. So it's not more profitable as it used to be. So developed countries start thinking about services, the tertiary sector. Is it clear?
Makes sense.
Advances in technology. Technology has also changed things because technology makes things to become better and faster. As a result of that, people would be able to start thinking about services than And that means we don't need people. We need equipment. We need machinery. We need computers to carry out those jobs that people do.
Mm.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So with advancement in technology, the secondary sector becomes less because of automation. Is it clear?
Makes sense.
We go down. We have the questions now. Please read.
Okay, gold mining in South Africa is an example of business activity in which sector? Primary sector.
Great. Question 2.
So of gold mining, it's extracting.
Mining, yeah. Question 2.
Okay, which of the following businesses operate in the secondary sector? You have McDonald's, Ford Motor Company, Qatar Airways, and Santander Bank.
Santander Bank.
Banks and airplanes are
Services.
services, of course. So it's none. We have Ford Motor Company and you have McDonald's.
McDonald's is what?
Secondary sector.
McDonald's is a service. Restaurants, they are services.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Ford Motor Company, they put things together. Car assembly. Company.
I thought you buy goods.
They didn't say showroom. Yeah, they put cars. They assemble cars. That's the secondary sector.
I didn't know it. I'm a Ford Motor.
Yeah, it's okay. It's just like on there. Okay. They're in the secondary sector. Clear?
It makes sense. Okay.
So the answer is what? C. Question 3.
Which of the following countries has most likely seen the sharpest decline in employment in the primary sector in the last 50 years? Okay, how do I know that?
It depends on the development. US.
Okay, you have USA.
Yeah. Uganda, Bangladesh, Chad. These are countries that deal in the primary sector.
Ah, it's USA.
USA, yeah. Question 4.
Oh man.
The table shows the value of export in different industry sectors for a country. These are export and their values. What is the total value of export from the primary sector? The primary sector here in the primary sector we have
air transport,
oil. We have oil. Extraction of oil.
Yeah.
That's all.
1,300 million.
Yeah.
It's
1,300 million.
Yeah.
1,300 million. Is it clear? So the answer is B. Any question about that?
No.
So that ends classification of business chapter 7. So we end today's class here.
And that's it.
Yeah, sure.
And that's what I understand. Primary sector is extracting stuff.
Yeah.
Extracting resources.